What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down good versus bad whip routes. Okay, so the first route we're going to be taking a look at is a route that needs some improvement on it. Obviously, there's a common mistake that a lot of people make. Then the second route is going to be the better example on how you guys can improve on that whip route. Okay, so I hope this gives you guys some value. I hope this kind of gives you some insight on just what you need to do to run an efficient whip route and get out in the least amount of time spent and get that explosion to widen yourself from the DB. But also, fellas, if you guys want an ultimate wide receiver training package, so it's a full 28-day gym program, and you get our technique manual with everything broken down step by step for you to become a better receiver on the field. So if you want to improve your game in the gym and you want to improve your game on the field, there's a perfect training package for you. Check out that very first link in the description, you guys, to get our ultimate wide receiver training package. Let's get started. So this whip route right here, right? You see how when this receiver drops, a little bit of a grab, but I think if he shoots and drives out of this break, we don't give this DB an opportunity to grab, right? And the flag wasn't thrown on this, and there are going to be times where they don't throw the flag. I don't want to be always looking for a flag, always throwing my hands up, making that excuse. If we run an efficient route, it will be blatantly obvious when they do decide to hold us, okay? So now let's talk about this. The issue with this is when we run this whip route, right? You see how this receiver drops in two steps, right? So he snaps and he hooks this one leg around. That's good technique, right? He's actually getting in a low position, but now the part that kills him, right? Let's talk about this. Any receiver on a whip route, I've seen it plenty of times, can drop in two steps. Any receiver. If you've worked it enough, I've worked it with plenty of guys, and they never have any problem dropping their hips. That's never the issue. The issue is the break point, going from break point to acceleration, right? A lot of guys can be able to drop in two, but they get stuck, and then a lot of guys will drop in two, get their hips low, and then they take like 5 steps, then they get out of this break. You got to be able to drop violently, then be able to shoot out, because the whole goal is to widen the gap with this DB. I get in an explosive position to shoot myself out. So you see how this receiver, he drops here and on his inside foot. You see how he's on his toes, right? Then he hooks this leg around. This whole foot's in the grass. We want to try to push off of this inside arch and get yourself back at 90. But you see how he kind of like pushes up, right? And again, I know he's being grabbed by this DB a little bit. I know he's got his hands on him here, but we don't want to push up, because when I push up like this, I don't have any explosion out. It's like I stop myself. You snap, then you hook back around, then you push up, and that DB grabs you. If he's driving out and that DB grabs us, we should be able to just shrug him right off, and he should have no problem, especially if he's really overcommitted on this thing. We don't want to push up with my legs here, right? And this grab of the shoulder is not the reason why he goes up, because if the DB's grabbing you, if anything, you should go this way, right? You should just stay where you're at. If you're driving towards the sideline and really pushing off of this leg, that's going to widen yourself from this DB. So you got to make sure that you push towards the sideline. If you push up, that kills your explosion. It's almost like you're stopping, then you have to start again, then you have to run again. And that just kind of kills your overall explosion, kills the acceleration, and you won't be able to widen the distance with this DB, and this will be the result on the goal line. He's all over you, and he's able to make this play. We should be over here right now catching this easy touchdown on this type of a route, okay? So let's watch the thing again, full speed. Easy mistake, but also what you want to do is that you really want to focus on ripping your arms out of there. As soon as you drop those hips and you push, you should be ripping this left arm almost like behind you, like you got to elbow somebody. You shouldn't keep those arms just down by your side. You got to rip those arms out, because that ties into acceleration, okay? So now, again, let's watch it full speed, then we'll break down the next route of the good clip. Ja'Marr Chase running this route. So again, don't pop up. Make sure we explode and drive out of there, okay? So now let's look at this route from Ja'Marr Chase. Perfect example of a guy who drops his hips the same way, but he's able to get out of it actually fast and widen the distance with the DB. So he comes out here, attacks, leverage, bursts inside, drops those hips, and you see how much burst he has and how this right here on the goal line, this is where we should have been in the last clip. This is where we should always strive to be anytime we're on the goal line, because the inches we need matter. Like a 2 yards of separation is huge on the goal line for any wide receiver, okay? That's a huge gain, right? So let's watch this thing full speed, or let's break this thing down, excuse me. So attack does a good job of attacking this DB's leverage, trying to get him to the inside. Now he does a good job on this whip route of obviously selling the inside. So did the last clip, right? Big part about a whip route is that when you come from right here, from break point to the inside, you got to really explode. You got to commit your shoulders, you got to commit your hips, got to commit your eyes. Because what are we trying to sell? We're trying to sell slant, right? We're not trying to, in some cases, we're trying to sell drag. You see guys like Keenan Allen, he runs a great whip route. He's always trying to sell this thing off of a drag, because in the Chargers offense, they run a lot of like mesh concept, a lot of drag concept, where they like to get him across the field because he's such a dangerous guy downfield. And that's why that whip route works. If you're a slant heavy team and you guys have whip routes in the playbook, you should try to make it look the exact same. And Chase does a great job of that, right? He commits his shoulders, hips, everything to the inside, right? So now, same idea as that other receiver. He drops, right? You see how it's a violent 1-2. He snaps on the inside leg, hooks the outside leg around. I apologize, it's not the most clearest clip, but to be able to zoom in on this one, I knew it was going to get a little bit blurry. So you kind of tell the gist of it. I apologize. Wish it was a little bit higher quality, but we got to work with what we got. So again, snap, hooks back around, but now you can tell by his shin angle right here, where is he going to be pushing? He gets in that same low explosive position. And in the clip before, that guy might have gotten a little bit lower, right? I'm not 100% sure on his name. That clip was sent to me, and this video was done by request. But he got lower than Chase does right here. So he's in that explosive position. It's just that the area that kills him is how is he driving out of that break? How is he accelerating? How is he getting to that phase 3 of the route? So again, when you hook that leg, that hook leg, you drop on the inside leg, hook the outside leg, you push off the inside part of your foot to really explode back to the sideline, and watch Chase's arms here. You see how his arms don't stop. He drops those hips, but his arms don't stop working. His arms, it's almost like you're paddling like a surfboard. If your arms stop, you ain't going to go nowhere. If you're running a route and your arms stop, you ain't going to go nowhere. So it's about getting in that explosive position, using that leg to push you out, then open up your hips, continue that drive of your arm so you can continue to accelerate and widen the distance with this DB. This right here came from that explosion that he created. You don't want to think of that break point on a whip route as like, oh, I got to stop. You know what I mean? You never want to think about a route as you got to stop, because then you got to stop. That implies that you got to start up again to get out of the break. You want to think of it as I want to create some energy. I want to decelerate, but I want to be creating energy while I'm decelerating. And that comes from how violent you could drop your hips. And that energy comes from also how well you're pushing out of there, because that push, you get in that explosive position, almost like a 40-yard dash. You push off of that outside leg, that turns into acceleration. I could pump my arms and I could widen the distance with this DB. That's the whole goal. Get separation, then let's keep separation, and let's win this race back to the ball, because I created energy. I knew where I was going. DB had no clue where I was going. Okay, so let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. Great job here by Chase coming out. Attack leverage, burst up to the inside, drop those hips, and push out of there. Perfect textbook whip route. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope this video kind of helped you, gave you some insight on just a whip route and how you guys can improve your whip route. And also, fellas, if you guys want an ultimate wide receiver training package, specific 28-day gym program, and a full technique guide, step-by-step process to improve your route running and be a better overall wide receiver. We talk about everything from hands to route running to releases to steps behind the route. Hope we get you guys on that soon. Very first link in the description, and I'll see you guys next time.